How's it going, man? I know. I know. You just played your rank game. You went 0 and 4 on attack. You kept getting slammed by Malusi, by Doc, by Wamai, and you considered uninstalling the game. And to be honest, I don't blame you. However, luckily for you, today I'm going to be ranking every single attacker in Year 9 Season 2. And hopefully, by the end of the video, you'll at least have learned something, and even better, you might have found a new attacker to use. So, if you guys enjoy this video and learned something new, make sure to hit that sub button, like the video, let me know that you guys enjoyed it, show me some support, and with that out of the way, let's just get right into the tier list. Now, before we get into it, there's one thing that's important, and we need to outline exactly how we're going to be ranking these operators. And the three criteria that I'm looking at for the most part is going to be flexibility, number one. How usable are they? Are they usable on every map? Are they usable on every bomb site? And then, secondly, are they good in teams, right? Are they good in a 5-stack? And are they good in solo queue? Those are kind of the criteria that I'm going to use here to rank these operators. And I think that would be the most fair way to do it, right? So let's start with the newest operator, Striker. For me, Striker is easily A, and to be honest, could be S, but I'll tell you why he's not S. So Striker, he has an ability that no other character has, where he can bring whatever matters most in that round, right? Whether you're playing solo queue or you're playing with a team. And on top of that, you can bring whatever utility matters on any map, any bomb site, anytime. The flexibility that Striker offers is second to none. There really isn't any operator where you could do such a thing with. And on top of that, what's insane about Striker is you go through the prep phase, right? You're droning, you're checking it out, you see, oh, they have a Cade. Well, I was gonna go flashbangs and grenade, but now I'm gonna switch to hard breach charge and EMPs. The fact that you're able to react off of the defenders and they aren't just makes Striker so insane. However, I'm not gonna put him in S tier because I think Striker loses a little bit of value when you play in a 5-stack, right? Because if you're going to hit a wall, why would you bring a Striker when you could just bring a Thermite and a Thatcher, right? So he loses a little bit of value there when you're playing in a 5-stack, right? But in solo queue, this guy is insane, dude. Whatever you want to do, you want to go hit a wall, you want to run some flashbangs, you want to nade some stuff, it doesn't matter, you can do it all. And that's why Striker is going to go into A. Also, another thing that I want to do is kind of put one of each operator here so that we can have something to compare to as we go throughout the list, right? So for B tier, for me, B tier would be somebody like Sledge, for example. Sledge brings a lot, right? Whether it be in team play or in solo queue, and you can use him on pretty much every map. Some of his downsides, though, are he's slow, number one, and number two, you can only play from above, so you can only play vert, but you can't play from below, right? So for me, it's not that Sledge is a bad operator by any means, and he is pretty flexible actually, but the thing about Sledge is there's just better operators that you can play that will do a similar job, right? But is Sledge a bad pick? No, I think Sledge really fits quite well into the B tier. He's just somebody you can bring to have some consistency and do what you need to do. I mean, he has frag grenades too. Like, he's got a great kit. So to me, Sledge isn't bad at all. But like I said, there's definitely better people that are going to be on this tier list who you could bring instead of Sledge. And I think Sledge also kind of loses value in solo queue. Like, you can go play the vert, but without having somebody watching your flank cam or just another teammate with you, you know, it makes it a lot more dangerous and a lot more susceptible to you getting picked off by a roamer, right? So I think Sledge in B is pretty fair. For C tier is going to be somebody like Fuse. And I know you're looking at this and thinking, whoa, Fuse is C tier? But to be quite honest, Fuse, you could bring him on pretty much the majority of bomb sites on R6. However, he really shines when you can use him from above, right? So that already limits him in his capabilities. Second of all, Fuse is somebody that gets banned a pretty good amount, and I think you have to take that into consideration, because if you can't play the operator, then, you know, they can't make it higher up on the list. And at least in terms of Sledge and Fuse, Sledge is going to be able to play destroying walls in front of him and under him, whereas Fuse is really just playing from above. And I think he is a little bit more niche than Sledge, I would say. So for that reason, I would put him in C. In terms of solo queue, it's kind of the similar aspect of Sledge, where yeah, you can play that vert, yeah, you can get up there, but you know, without somebody watching your flanks, doing all that kind of stuff, it's dangerous, right? You could be susceptible to getting picked off. But on top of that, you're also not getting people who are letting you know, hey, this guy's in master, or this guy's here, or this guy's there, so that you can actually use your ability to its best potential, right? And so because you don't have callouts, you're kind of guessing where the enemies are going to be. And so I think Fuse in C is good. Let me know if you guys disagree with that, but I think that's a pretty fair take. And then for D tier, I mean, it's going to be somebody kind of like, I mean, Callie would be the poster child, right? Callie, there's just no room for this type of operator in the game. I think Callie is just terrible. There's not really much to say about it. There's like 1 to 2 bomb sites that Callie can shine on, but even then, just bring any other operator and you're probably going to have a better time. And then somebody like Blackbeard as well. However, I think Blackbeard is a lot better than Callie. Like, I know people clown on Blackbeard, but he's like usable. It's not great, but remember that Siege is a one-shot headshot meta, and so that bulletproof helmet thing that you can put on could really save your life and could, you know, change the course of the round. So he's a lot better than Callie, but he's definitely D tier. And it's same with like somebody like Glaz. Glaz is similar to Callie in the sense that, you know, he can be an all-star on certain bomb sites and maps, but for the most part, I mean, practically unusable. Terrible in solo queue, pretty okay in team play, but like, you know, again, somebody like Blackbeard is just better than both of these characters. But anyways, and then now we got to talk about S tier. S tier for me is somebody like, I mean, I think I did this last time and some people gave me hate for it, but I still think Ace is S tier. I mean, let's just look at this from an objective point of view. Team play, amazing. Solo queue, amazing. Every single bomb site, literally every bomb site in the entire game, you could bring Ace. And on top of that, his ability, there's nobody else that could do it. Maybe Hibana, right? But the way his ability works and the fact that you could put that much pressure on the enemy team, there's no other person that can do that. But what makes him even crazier is his fragging potential. Like, this guy isn't just a breacher. He's got the AK-12. He's got an amazing kit. Like, there is so much stuff you could do with Ace that will easily help you win the round. And for me, Ace is S tier. Like, it's pretty simple, honestly. And like I said, he works in every scenario. Whether you're playing alone, whether you're playing with friends, it doesn't matter. Amazing character, easy S tier. All right. Now that we've outlined kind of at least one operator in each of the tiers, now we can kind of go forward and compare exactly what we got, right? So starting with IQ, for me, IQ's A tier. Can you bring her on every single map? Absolutely. Is she good in solo queue? Absolutely. Is she good in team play? Absolutely. And especially in this kind of meta that we're playing now, everybody's running Fenrir. People are still playing Fenrir, even though he got nerfed. People are still playing Melusi. Matter of fact, I've seen more Melusis in these past 2 seasons than I've seen in a long time. Like, people are running Melusi, Wamai, Jaeger, all these kind of characters that use electronic devices. And to be able to see all of them is not only good in solo queue for you just playing, but also in team play is insane. To call out to people, hey, there's a Capcan here, there's a Melusi here, be careful when you push through here. Like, it's insane how good IQ is. One of the most undervalued abilities in the game, and somebody that I don't see people play a lot, but I'm telling you, if you need a switch up, if you're just getting caught out too much, try IQ. IQ is amazing. Not to mention her gun is so good. The G, I'm not sure what it's called. It starts with the G. It's an LMG, I think. Such a good gun. Maybe not an LMG, I guess an AR. I don't know. The drum mag one. Crazy good gun. I'm a really big fan of IQ. The one downside to her is the fact that obviously when you're scanning, you are limited to only being able to use your pistol. However, compared to other operators on this list, at least you can have a weapon out, and that also gives her a boost, right? All right, let's move on. Ashe. To me, Ashe is B tier. There's nothing inherently wrong with Ashe. Can you bring her on every bomb site? Yes. Is she good in team play? Kind of. Is she good in solo queue? even less. The thing, when I think about Ashe, I just think about fragging potential, and Ashe definitely has that. She has one of the best guns in the game. She has a good ability to help you get into the bomb site quickly and make plays. But other than that, I just feel like personally there are way more operators that do more for you that you can still frag out with. Like Ace, for example. Like, why would you pick Ashe over Ace? Unless they have a Mira, I can understand, or like something really annoying that you have to clear. But to me, there's, again, nothing wrong with her. She's pretty versatile. She's pretty good in both solo queue and team play. But I just think there's better operators to pick, personally. And if you're just hard forcing Ashe every time and you keep losing, well, it's maybe time to consider trying an operator that's going to bring more value to the team. So yeah, Ashe and B, I think that's fair. I think that's fine. Next is Capitao. For me, Capitao's like between B and C. Again, there's nothing wrong with Capitao. I'm going to put him in C and I'll explain why. There's nothing wrong with Capitao. You could bring him on every map. He's good in team play. He's okay in solo queue. I don't even think he's that good in solo queue personally. You could just pick somebody who has smoke grenades and kind of do the job. But for me, what really puts him in C is the fact that when you pull out that crossbow, you are liable to die, right? If you pull out that crossbow and go to shoot it and an enemy peeks you, you're dead, right? There's nothing you can do. And I think that in and of itself is a big risk to take, especially in solo queue, when again, you could have just brought a smoke grenade or, just picked an operator that's better. Is his ability good? Yeah, it's a pretty good ability. And again, there are certain maps where Capitao goes crazy, but he's not like an all-star on every map, every bomb site, right? So for me, Capitao C, I think his gun's okay. I think he's definitely better in team play where you guys can coordinate something rather than solo queue. I think solo queue, he's pretty average. But yeah, being caught in that crossbow animation is dangerous and you could die. So I'm gonna put him in C. Next is Blitz. Dude, like, here's the thing about me with Blitz is I hate him, but like he might have to go A tier because shield operators are so broken this year. Or since the update. They have been just completely busted. I'm gonna put him in B though, and I'll explain why. He could easily be A. He could even be S. Like, if somebody put Blitz in S, I wouldn't blame them. I hate him. I don't think he's that good, but I totally understand. But with Blitz, it's important to have at least some communication with your team, right? For people to let you know, hey, maybe somebody's flanking you, or maybe there's people in this room, go push them, whatever. When you're playing Blitz solo queue, it's a lot harder, and you actually kind of have to play a little bit more passive because you have not that much info. And as a Blitz player, it's not like you can just get on your drone and like look around and stuff. You're super vulnerable if you do that, right? So you always want to have your shield up and you want to be, get into the action. And I think in solo queue, it's a little bit tough. Is he usable on every map? Yeah, you could actually bring Blitz on every single map, on every single bomb site. Totally valid. And the fact that he can ram people down now is broken. And I'm even seeing videos that he can ram people through walls. If somebody Mavericks a line through a reinforced wall and Blitz rams it, they can knock down somebody on the other side. It's pretty insane what Blitz can do. I mean, yeah, really broken, really dumb. Again, I would put him in A if we're only talking just in general, but since we're also incorporating solo queue, I'm gonna put him in B. But if you put him in S, like, again, I understand. It makes sense. Next is Brava. Yeah, Brava's an easy A tier. Brava is, wow. Let's look at it objectively again. So with Brava, regardless of what you do, no matter what, at the bare minimum, you get 2 extra drones, which is very helpful. It's way better than people think. 2 extra drones is crazy, right? When you're playing solo queue, however, obviously if you're setting up flank cams and doing all this kind of stuff, it does suck that you can't ask your teammates to look at the drones and let you know if people are flanking or whatnot. However, being able to hack enemy equipment is disgusting. I mean, to not only just technically destroy their equipment, but to be able to take it for yourself is crazy, like insane. One thing again that's super annoying though about Brava is when you're solo queuing, your teammates might not know that you've hacked stuff. I've played so many games where I've hacked a default cam and then get off the drone, and the second I get off the drone, I see my teammate run by and shoot the default cam, And I'm like, dude, like, why did I even hack that, right? And similar with utility and stuff, I have seen my own teammates destroy utility that I bravoed, which, you know, sucks, but it is what it is. So she definitely loses some potential because of that. But I'm not going to put her in B because the character that I'm going to put in B, who's very similar to her, is Twitch. And the reason Twitch is going to go in B is because in comparison to Brava, Twitch just destroys it. Brava takes it, which is crazy, right? And on top of that, Brava has a more reliable kit. I think the F2 is very difficult for us console players. I know some people on console are good with it. There's obviously the Zim merchants, and then obviously people on PC have a better time with it. But she also has access to the DMR, which is good. But I think Brava is better than Twitch. The only time Twitch is probably better is to get a Cade Claw off the wall or a Bandit Battery. And like, that makes sense to me, right? But there's other operators on this list who do a better job of that. And if we're comparing Brava to Twitch, I think Brava does get that extra edge because she's able to take enemy utility and use it for herself. Like, there's nothing more satisfying than hacking an enemy's cap can and then they die to it. Like, that's crazy, dude. That's such a broken ability. And again, in this meta that we're playing, where there's tons and tons of electronic devices running around everywhere, I mean, Brava's just a crazy good pick, right? So that's Brava, that's Twitch. I kind of jumped around there, but I felt like they kind of had to be ranked at the same time because they're quite similar. But yeah, let's move on to Dokkaebi. I want to put Dokkaebi in S, but I want to be really strict on S. I don't think Dokkaebi's an S personally. I think Dokkaebi's an A for sure, and we'll talk about why. Can you use Dokkaebi on every bomb site, every map, anytime? Heck yeah. Dokkaebi, insane, really good. Probably one of the best roam clearers, or at least I guess roam discoverers that we have in Siege. But I think in terms of looking at it from team play and solo queue, I think solo queuing with Dokkaebi is good, but it's a lot like harder to coordinate a push when you're solo queuing with Dokkaebi versus, you know, being on the mic with a dedicated 5-stack saying, hey, I'm about a Dokkaebi call, everybody get ready, we're about to push in. And then another thing similar to Brava, if you go and kill an enemy with Dokkaebi and hack their phone, now you guys have access to all the cams. Well, guess what? Your teammates probably don't even know that, and they're just gonna end up shooting the defaults. And then you guys just lose out on precious information. It's like, why did I bother to hack that phone, right? So it's similar to the Brava where you hack the default cams, right? So I think in terms of solo queue, I think Dokkaebi loses some value. I think she's still great. She's good for you, like to be able to know, is there people around me? You know, what should I do? She has one of the greatest combos on attack, which is the DMR with the SMG-12, which is just nasty. So Dokkaebi's great, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think she's S tier. I don't think she's on the level of Ace, for example, right? And she brings a lot of great utility to the team, but when you're solo queuing, that utility definitely goes a little bit down the drain, right? But her ability itself is completely busted. You have to make them stop moving, pull out a phone, cover their vision, and sit in place while the animation goes away. Crazy. And if not, they get super punished because everybody can hear exactly where they are. So Dokkaebi, amazing, but I'm gonna put her in A tier. Next on the list, Flores. I'm gonna put Flores in B. He's usable on every bomb site. He is great in team play and still great in solo queue. And at a minimum, he offers you 4 drones, which aren't great for getting info, don't get me wrong, but, you know, can still be used for info. I think the drawback with Flores is the fact that you kind of have to sit outside and send all your drones in first before you get into the bomb site, right? Because once you get into the bomb site, it's kind of risky to send out a Flores drone. Like, you can do it, but it's a lot safer to sit outside with your claymores, get all your Flores drones in, and then go from there, right? But also, there's potential that they don't run that many electronic devices, and so somebody like Flores isn't, you know, particularly needed. You know, there's been times in my games where that's the case, right? So in terms of Flores, though, as a whole, the best utility destroyer in the game. I mean, you could destroy like 20 pieces of utility if you use it right. Obviously, there isn't going to be 20 pieces of utility to destroy, but I'm talking about like you could. Like, that's how good he is, right? So much better than Twitch at removing utility. However, Twitch allows you to leave your shock drones out as actual drones as well. Whereas Flores, you have to commit. You got 10 seconds to blow up stuff before, you know, it explodes anyways, right? So do I think Flores is better than anybody up here? No, I don't think so. I think these guys bring a lot more value to the team. Not a lot more, a little bit more value. Because again, destroying utility is extremely important. But again, a little bit more limited, a little bit more niche than say a Brava or any of these operators up here. So I'm going to put him in B. Next is Maverick. I'm going to put Maverick in C. He's just not usable on every bomb site. I don't think so personally. You totally could. I'm not saying you couldn't, but it's just not like a positive play to make, right? It's not going to bring that much impact or that much utility. Yeah, you can use him to silent enter a green barricade. I get it, but again, in comparison to these characters who are going to make, in my opinion, are going to make more of an impact on the round, on a round by round basis than say a Maverick, right? But again, Maverick can shine in the certain situations. Canal, 2F, Attic of Oregon. Like there are times where, you know, Maverick is great and somebody that you should bring, but not every time, right? I think he loses a ton of value in solo queue too, because, you know, one of the best tricks to do with Maverick is you Mav out the wall and you have a teammate follow behind it and see if they can get some kills. And not being able to do that kind of strategy and that kind of play makes you more predictable and more susceptible to dying. So in terms of solo queue, I think Mav is actually pretty poor. I wouldn't bring him. He doesn't bring enough utility for the team. But in a 5-stack, I could totally see why you would run Maverick, and I could totally see if you wanted to put him into B tier. But for me, I think Maverick in C is pretty fair. Average ability, decent character, but yeah, nothing else, not too much to talk about other than that. Next is Thickums. I think I'm also going to put Thickums in C. Gridlock, like, is a good character, don't get me wrong. Great flank watch operator. But when it comes to solo queue, you know, I don't think she's that particularly good, because how many times in solo queue are you guys like rushing into the bomb site, planting, and then setting up your track stingers all around the point? Like, you just don't do that very much, and it ends up that her ability kind of just sits in your pocket and you don't do very much with it, right? At least in solo queue. I understand team play. There's a lot that you could do with her, with rush plants and things like that. But for me, I think Gridlock is not the best flank watch operator. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think overall, she's just kind of an average character. Yeah, you could use her on every bomb site, but again, there's just better operators who are going to bring more utility for the team. Track stingers and all are great, but I think it's a bit too niche, and it's not necessarily beneficial to bring it on every single bomb site, every single map, every single time. So I'm going to put her in C. And I think, again, these people above her are going to make more of an impact in a round than she would, for the most part. Next is Grim. I love Grim. I think Grim's great. I'm going to put Grim in B, and I'll explain why. Team play or solo queue, Grim's great. Great. You're going to get the info, and if enemy players get pinged, guess what? Your whole team is going to see them. Really good. Can be used to watch flanks. Can be used to make pushes into certain points of the bomb site. Really good character. Where he has potential to get you killed is, again, you have to pull out the Kwan launcher. And when you have that out, if anybody swings you at any time, you die. And that is dangerous. And that immediately, you know, loses him a rank, right? Any operator where you have to do that is going to go down in rating in comparison to somebody like a Buck or a Nomad, where you still can have your gun out, but you just quickly use your ability, right? But overall, Grim is awesome. I think he's super underrated. I think the update made him so much better. It like increased the duration of the bees. I think it increased the size, and it allowed you to bounce them off of walls to get them into harder to reach areas. Amazing. I think that's so good for Grim, and I think people should be running this guy more. He's really good. And you really could bring him on every bomb site. I don't see why not. You just have to switch your playstyle a little bit. You're not going to be going for frags. You're going to be kind of looking to shoot your bees into areas that people contest a lot and hope you can ping them and hope they freak out, and then you can get picks that way. Yeah, overall, Grim is really good. I think he's good in B, so that's where we're going to put him. Next is Hibana. For me, Hibana is going to go in C, and I'll explain why. When it comes to breaching, Hibana is the best at getting hatches. There is no other operator in this entire game that's as good as Hibana at getting hatches. That's what she's made for, at least in my opinion, right? Because if you're going for a wall, there's Ace, who's better at getting walls, and there's Thermite, who's better at getting walls, right? However, where both of them lack is in hatches, and that's exactly what Hibana does best. But because of that, I think she's a lot more niche, right? You have to have a hatch that you want to hit. It has to be on the right map. So it's a lot more niche right there already. And I just don't think she's actually somebody that's great to bring in solo queue. Again, because people like Ace exist or all these other operators above her, she's not that great. And on top of that, you could always pick any of these operators up here and run a hard breach charge and kind of do the same thing. So to me, Hibana is pretty niche. There's nothing wrong with her. Like, I don't blame you for playing her. She's good, she's fine. But to me, she's not that impactful on a round-to-round basis, and she is a little bit niche. So I'm going to put her in C. Next on the list is Mahami. Oh, man. If you guys have been watching my channel for more than a week, you guys would know how much I love Iana. But I'm not going to let my biases get in the way of things. I would love to put her here. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to put her in B, I think. Which is crazy. I know. But if we look at it, again, logically, from an unbiased perspective, Iana is probably top 3 solo queue operators in terms of unlimited info, fragging potential, all that good stuff. Iana, insane in solo queue. But I actually think she loses quite a lot of value in team play. I think, like, when you're playing with a team, there's just better operators to bring that's going to help your team out more. And you can always just use drones to kind of set up a perimeter where you guys can have somebody watching and making callouts and all that kind of stuff. So I think Iana loses a lot in team play, which is crazy. More than like probably everybody on this tier list. Like Iana, when you're playing with a group, you notice that you end up using her ability a lot less, right? Because you guys have that constant updating, flowing communication. Your need to kind of send out a drone to figure out where people are goes down like a lot. And so for me, sadly and begrudgingly, I have to put her in B. I love Iana. I think she's amazing in solo queue, but we're not just looking at solo queue. We're looking at team play as well. But she is usable on every single bomb site. There's not a bomb site where you can't bring Iana and she could be effective. She does get really hard countered by Mute, who is somebody that a lot of people run. So you do have to keep an eye out for that. But like other than that, there's nothing that stops Iana from going absolutely crazy, having high frag potential, and just getting that work done. So again, I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to put her in B. Could I have put her in A? Probably. But to be quite honest, I think these operators bring a lot more utility for the team than, say, Iana. So I just have to be fair. Next, Amaru. I think Amaru's a pretty easy C. Amaru's like fine, don't get me wrong, but is she usable on every bomb site? Absolutely not. There's literally bomb sites where you cannot use Amaru. Like any basement, any 1F bomb site is just, like you just can't use her, right? So that already limits her. But on top of that, her ability makes a ton of noise. It's not like some stealthy way to get into the building. Like everybody knows that the Amaru is coming, and if you're in any division above like gold, like most likely Amaru's gonna get absolutely smoked the second her feet touch the ground, right? Especially in solo queue. In team play, I can understand, right? Because you can have people smoke for you, you can have people flash for you, ying, whatever it may be. Amaru gains a lot of value there. But again, she's niche, you can't use her on every bomb site, and that's definitely gonna be a limiting factor for Amaru. And I think C tier is pretty fair for her. I don't think anybody's disagreeing with me. Great gun, supernova shotgun as well, really good, but you know, a little bit too niche. So I'm gonna put her in C. Next is Buck. Ooh, this is a tough one, man. I wanna put him in A. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in A. I mean, one of the best abilities in the game. Yeah, he actually has to go in A because we have Sledge in B, right? Because what he can do in comparison to Sledge is play from above, and play from below, which is huge, right? Sledge, that's the one thing he lacks, and Buck allows you to do both of that. But on top of that, Buck has his ability can be actually used as a weapon, which is crazy, and it's not even that bad. It's a busted gun, right? But also, it's not like somebody like Grim, where you have to pull out this huge like rocket launcher looking thing and have potential to die. No, like you can immediately go from bucking a wall to turning on a Caveira and absolutely wrecking her before she could even react. So that definitely gives him a big bonus. I think he's usable on pretty much every single bomb site, every single map. I couldn't think of a place where Buck wouldn't be good. He's great in solo queue. He's great in team play. I think he's probably better in solo queue than team play, because in solo queue you don't have as much information, so being able to kind of make your own path can be helpful. But overall, Buck is crazy. We all know Buck is good, and I think A is fair for him. Next is Jackal. I'm gonna put Jackal in. I'm gonna put him in B. Jackal is one of the best attackers in the game, but he's always banned. He's banned every single game, so you know that's gonna have to bring his rating down a little bit. If he wasn't banned every single game, like I would understand putting him in A, potentially even S. Probably not S, probably A. He's usable on every single bomb site. Good in team play, good in solo queue. Really good character, but he's literally banned like every single game. So I'm just gonna put him in B. We all know what Jackal does. We all know he's good. No need to elaborate too much, so let's move on. Deimos. Deimos is C. I know. That might be a wild one, but to me, Deimos is terrible in solo queue. Unless you're a demon, Deimos is actually really bad in solo queue, right? Because think about it this way. Let's have a logical thought exercise here, right? You're a Deimos. You're looking to clear a roamer, okay? So you pop your ability and you get the ping where he is, but he also gets the ping where you are. If that guy is playing with even a single teammate, you have lost value, right? Because yes, you yourself have figured out where that enemy is, but two people have figured out where you are. And immediately that's already a loss, right? If they're playing with three people, now three people know where you are. 4, 5, I mean, you could just keep going. It gets worse and worse for you, right? So there's no guarantee in this game that you're only playing solo queuers. And because of that, Deimos is like really bad in solo queue. Because let's say you do kill the guy that you're tracking. What's stopping his teammate, who also knows where you are because that guy called you out, to come and refrag you? Not much, right? And where you really lose value, because if you trade, that's fine. You get refragged, like you still did your job, you got a pick. But if you don't get that original frag and you just get 2v1'd, you've done nothing for the team. They don't know where anybody is. You haven't given them any info and you haven't gone to kill, right? Now, in team play, Deimos is pretty insane, right? If you're playing with a 5-stack, dude, all 5 of you know where that guy is. That's big. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty big info, because even if you die, you've given 4 other people info about where the enemy is, right? But I'm still gonna put him in C, because I think the people above him do a better job and bring more utility overall to the team, right? Also, his Vendetta, we were all excited about it. We thought it was gonna be sick. It's pretty mid, boys. I think we can all agree it's pretty mid. So yeah, I'm gonna put Deimos in C. I think you could use him on every map. You could use him on every bomb site. Are there better operators to bring majority of the time? Absolutely. Are you getting annoyed because they have a Cav who keeps shatting on all of you? Yeah, it makes sense to bring Deimos, but you have to use him in the correct situation. And if you're solo queuing, you're putting yourself at a big disadvantage letting the Cav know where you are. Because if she comes and kills you and interrogates, not only did she kill you, but you've just given up your information for the entire team. They'll see where all the other teammates are, and you guys all get smoked. So use him in the right situation, and he could be good, but I think he's a C tier character pretty easily. Next is gonna be Leon. Man, I think Lion's A tier. Lion's pretty good, man. Solo queue, team play, any map, really good. Whether you're playing solo queue and you're making a push into a room, so you pop your Lion scan, it can help you get those frags. It can help you get into more risky positions. But also in team play, amazing. You guys are coordinating a push. You pop that Lion scan, you get to work. He's usable on every single bomb site, every single map. gives a ton of info to the team, a ton of utility. Yeah, I think Lion is amazing. I don't even think there's much else to say. I just think he's an A tier character. He does a lot, and yeah, so we're gonna put him in A. Next on the list, Finka. Yeah, dude, Finka might be S. Finka actually might be S. No, I'm gonna put her in A. Oh, I actually want to put her in S. That's what's crazy, but I'm gonna put her in A. I'm gonna put her in A because the one limiting factor that she has is her LMG or the spear. Both of them aren't very good, and the other shotgun is completely useless. Oof, I'm really debating it though, dude. Nah, I'm gonna put Finka in S. You guys can hate on that, but I think Finka's an S tier operator, especially this season. To be able to pop a global dock ability for all your teammates at any moment is pretty cracked. On top of that, she can revive down teammates and herself. Dude, what are we talking about here? That is extremely broken. She can also pop her ability when you guys are making a push into a bomb site to give you guys extra health. I mean, if we're talking about value to the team, there are not many operators here on this list that are going to do better than that, to be completely honest with you. On top of that, she has a meaty LMG, which is like, it's okay. The spear is completely terrible, in my opinion. And she does have frag grenades. Frag grenades are good. I mean, dude, yeah, Finka's probably easily an S tier. Whether you play her as a support, whether you use her to frag out, you could play it how you want. You can bring her on every single bomb site, every single map. And she's good in both team play and solo queue. To me, that's the definition of an S tier. There's nobody else who even comes close to her ability or the utility that she can bring. So I'm gonna put her in S. Next is Monty. Monty might have to be A tier. I know that's crazy, but Monty, actually no, he's gonna be B tier because he's completely useless. Playing solo queue Monty is not gonna work, right? Playing team play Monty is pretty much winning the round. As long as you guys get that bomb down and you stand on the bomb, there's pretty much no way you lose. But when you're solo queuing, I don't see Monty actually being that good. You're not gonna get any coordination from your teammates. You could set up plays if you're a really good Monty, but majority of the time, all your teammates are gonna die, and it's just gonna be down to you, and you're just gonna be standing there with a shield, and you're just gonna get 1v5'd and cooked. So, yeah, I'm gonna put Monty in B. Again, similar to Blitz, shield characters are completely busted now, but I think you have to be playing with a squad to get their maximum potential. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in B. Next is Knock. Knock is probably a C tier operator, honestly. If we're looking at the operators up here, she just isn't better than any of them, and she's definitely more comparable to the operators here. So yeah, I'm gonna put Knock in C. Her ability is cool, don't get me wrong, but the fact that she lost the silent step really kills her. I hate that. I still regret that. Like, I'm still sad about that to this day. Because she was such a fun operator when she could silent step, dude. If you guys didn't play back then, you missed out, because she was just incredible. But now, being able to just walk by cams is cool, but again, doesn't offer anything to the team, whether it be in solo queue or in team play. Nothing. I mean nothing. And there are better frag even Ashe has a similar fragging potential, probably more actually, and actually has an ability that can contribute to the team. Whereas Knock, not so much. She has frag grenades, cool. Her gun's okay. But yeah, I think Knock has just been deaded. Probably needs a rework, honestly. But yeah, C tier definitely makes sense for her. I don't think anyone's gonna argue about that, so let's move on. Next on the list is Nomad. Nomad's an easy A. The best flank watch operator in the game. Much better than Thickums. Way easier to put out, makes less noise, disguises your position better. Yeah, it has a laser, but if you're a good player, you can hide that laser. Great gun, usable on every single bomb site, every single map, and helps both in solo queue and in team play, and arguably is potentially a little bit better in solo queue just because you don't have that information. So you're able to use her air jabs to keep people from flanking on you, which is good. Also amazing in team play, don't get me wrong, but probably just a little bit better in solo queue because, you know, you're relying on yourself and the info that you could gather, and the air jabs help quite a lot. But yeah, I don't think there's much to say. I think everybody's cool with Nomad in A. Really good character. If you haven't played Nomad, I genuinely recommend trying her out. She's so much fun and such a good character. So yeah, if you're struggling, try Nomad. I'm telling you, really good. All right, next we got Osa. Yeah, I think Osa probably just goes in C as well. Not very good in solo queue. Yeah, you could use it to frag out her shields and stuff, but where she shines is in team play aspects. But I don't think she's actually usable on every map or every bomb site for that matter. You know, the one that comes to mind a lot to me is Hookah on Coastline. She's really good on that map. You get to that window, you put one of the shields up, and you got a sight into Hookah and all the way through games and all the way to the back. Like, it's pretty good. But she's a little bit niche. Definitely not usable on every map, and definitely not great in solo queue. Much better in team play. So I'm gonna put her in C. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair rating. Not too much to say about Osa. You know, she has a shield, can be good. Impacts absolutely shut her down. And yeah, that's it. Next is Ram. I think also with Ram, I guess Ram has to go B if we put Sledge in B. Yeah, Ram has to go B if we put Sledge in B. She's not better than Buck. She's definitely not going to go in A tier. But yeah, Ram is pretty much the same thing as Sledge. She just does it a little bit quicker. And she can also use her boogies to potentially make like holes in walls and stuff by throwing it down and running it through a wall. But again, runs into the same issue as Sledge. In solo queue, you have nobody to watch your flanks, nobody to watch your cams. You could get run up on, get absolutely smoked, and have a bad time. But yeah, I mean, she's pretty much just a better version of Sledge, I guess, if we're gonna be honest. So yeah, I think she's in B tier. She's not usable on every bomb site though. I will say that. Actually, yeah, wait a minute. Sledge is usable on every bomb site, every map. Ram? Not so much. Any basement? Well, no, basement is great for Ram. It's more 2F that she's not useful in. Yeah, I guess we have to move Ram down to C. That might be a wild one, but if we think about it logically, on any 2F map, Ram is pretty bad. You're not going to do anything with her ability. Like, you might be able to like destroy a castle or something, but like, dude, Sledge is just going to do a better job of that. On top of that, Sledge can be used on 2F bomb sites because he can make holes in walls much bigger than a boogie would. So yeah, for me, I actually think Sledge is going to go B, Ram is going to be C. I think that's fair. I think Ram was another one of those characters that we all kind of overhyped, but as the seasons have progressed, she's pretty mid. She can be really broken in team play, but in solo queue, you know, there's better people to bring. Go Buck, go Sledge, try something like that. Yeah, I think Ram C is pretty fair. Sens, yeah, Sens is D. Don't get me wrong. Is she the worst operator in the game? No, I think Callie's the worst attacker. And I think Glaz is a close second. And I think Blackbeard is best, and then Sens. But yeah, I don't know what it is with Sens. Nobody's liked her since she came out, and nobody likes her still. Her ability is a glorified smoke screen that is blue colored, if we're gonna be completely honest. You know, does she have potential on certain bomb sites, on certain maps to go crazy? Yeah. Do many people know how to use her? No. And so for that reason, you know, just picking a striker and bringing smoke grenades is probably gonna bring you a lot more value than going Sens. I also don't like her gun in particular. I don't think it's very good. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this to you. I think everybody agrees Sens is an easy D tier. She's definitely not better than any of these characters here, or even on the same level, and, you know, further on. So she has to go in this tier. It's pretty simple. Next is Thatcher, S tier. Do we even need to say anything, guys? The best at getting rid of wall denial. The best at destroying electronic gadgets. Well, not so much. I'd say Flores is probably better at that. But wall denial, this is the one you bring. You want to get that wall open, you bring a Thatcher. There's a reason this guy gets banned in like 60% of pro games. I mean, he's just an invaluable ability and just such an important character for the health of Siege in general and for attacking. Like, there's no character who does it like Thatcher. So, pretty easy. To be fair though, you don't actually bring Thatcher on every bomb site. And if we're ranking it like that, in terms of flexibility, Thatcher's pretty bad when you don't need electronics. So crazy audible, but I'm actually going to put him in A. I'm going to put him in A because, yeah, you can't use him on every bomb site. But he's so good. He's so good. Like, this is a really tough pick. If there was a tier between S and A, I would put him there. But, yeah, I mean, we have to stick to our guns here. You can't use Thatcher on every bomb site, on every map. There's certain times where you need him, but there's other times where, you know, there's no point of picking him. So, yeah, I guess we have to put him in A. But solo queue, team play, both really good. Yeah, I guess we put him in A. I think that's fair. Next is Therm. I guess Therm is A because these guys are the same thing. When you need them, they're S. But other than that, they're A. Therm in general, though, is the best breacher. He makes the best hole. Pause. And he's just the best to have when it comes to hard breaching. But again, not necessarily usable on every bomb site. Ace does a much better job at being flexible than, say, a Thermite. So, yeah, pretty easy. I guess we'll put him in A if we're going to put Thatch in A. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Ying is B. Yeah, Ying is B. Good in solo queue, good in team play. Good gun, usable on every map. High flexibility. Yeah, Ying is B. She's definitely brings a lot more value than the operators down here. But you do have to be careful when you're playing with other people, not to ying them. So you have to be a good ying. If you're yinging your teammates, then she's literally D tier. So yeah, you have to be careful. But I think Ying is actually quite strong and quite good. So I'm going to put her in B. Next is Argus, or Zero. I'm going to put Zero in A. He would be S tier, but when you're playing solo queue, nobody's watching your cams. So you're the only one who can, you know, use them to your advantage. Nobody's going to tell you, hey, this guy's flanking on the flank cam you set up. That's not going to happen. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in A. Is he usable on every bomb site? Absolutely. Is he good in team play? Absolutely. Is he good in solo queue? Absolutely. Great gun. One of the best guns in the game for attack. Just a great character. Oh, and did I forget to mention that his cameras can also destroy utility? Yeah, pretty insane. Like, really broken character. Zero is somebody that I don't see people play a lot, and it really surprises me because I think this guy could be an auto lock every single round, every game. Like, he's really good. But in comparison to the abilities that these guys bring, his is not as good. Because again, Siege being an info game, it's pretty amazing that you get 3 Argus cams, but when you're solo queuing, people just aren't going to use that info, and so it just kind of ends up going to waste. In team play, Argus really could be an S tier, but we have to be fair, we have to stick to our guns, so we're going to put him in A. And then finally, Zofia. I put Zofia in B. Similar to Grim, you have to pull out this whole contraption to shoot it, similar to Ashe as well. So you are susceptible to dying, but her ability is great and amazing. Really good in solo queue, not necessarily that great in team play. Not bad either though, but I think she's better in solo queue, to be honest. Great gun, usable on every single map, every bomb site. So yeah, I think I'll put her in B. And that's the tier list, boys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Did I miss anything? Did I get anything wrong? I genuinely think this is a solid tier list. There might be like 1 to 2 people that, you know, are up to 1 too high or down 1 too low. But overall, I think this is actually a pretty solid tier list. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything. And hopefully you guys learned something new today and found a new operator to use on attack. And yeah, if you did, hit that sub button, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.